Alright, so Josh Phillips here again with a quick video on how to start some seeds. I've been starting my seeds the past few days, a few hundred at a time every night, and I'd like to show you how to do that real quick. So I won't show everything right now, but I'll show you uh, pretty much the process of starting the seeds. So uh, I've got these handy soil block tools, soil block makers that make these little these are like 5/8 inch cubic blocks that makes them 20 at a time. And I made these handy containers out of the clamshells that spinach comes in at Costco. So you can get this 1 pound box of spinach in this plastic jug. And when you're done with the spinach, instead of recycling the box, I cut the top off to where it's about right here, 2 inches tall, and that's for the bigger soil blocks. For the small ones, obviously I could use I could cut them much smaller. But so basically, if you notice, there's these little indentations here, and basically what you do is you just place a seed in there, and then you cover it with a little bit of vermiculite for most things. So let me show you the vermiculite and why I don't like this vermiculite that bought. If you notice, this vermiculite's really big chunks. It's more like perlite. I'm kind of upset because the perlite I got is really fine perlite, and it should be bigger like this this vermiculite. The last vermiculite that I bought was really fine, and the really fine vermiculite makes a better covering for the seeds. But as you can see here I've got them under my growing light. Let me see if you can make that up. There's a nice LED growing light, 150 bucks. It's only about, if you notice how big my hand is, this will cover 5 square feet, which is probably about from here to, well, if you got it properly positioned, it will grow 5 square feet. So let me pull these out so we can see them. So this is the finished product, and as you can see, I have some things growing already in it. And this is 3 varieties of cabbage. 2 of them are very similar. One of them is early Jersey Wakefield, and the other one is early Mountain Wakefield, and then the third is what's called Samantha. And so I'm trying them all out to see which are best. I'm not growing any red cabbage, and I'm more interested in the leaves of the cabbage, I guess, instead of the big round balls. So I'm probably not going to be doing much maintenance on these, just growing the leaves and then juicing them. So this is the finished product with the vermiculite over it, and then them growing in the little seed blocks. Now I'm going to plant these in probably a week outside. It's a little bit cold right now, but middle of next week I'll place these in my outdoor tiny greenhouse storage to get them a little bit accustomed to the cold, and then I'll plant them in the ground. But there's another 60 in this box from the spinach clamshell. Holds 100 spaced, and so that's about it. I'll show you how to make these. I'll show you the tools and the how to make the soil blocks, and they come in different sizes. I'll show you that size right now, the other size. So that size is right here, and I planted some beets in here. If you notice, the soil blocker tool comes with an insert that for these big ones you can either have that little square, in which case you can place the little ones right inside that square and transplant them really easily, or you can have another one that's just got an indentation. You can plant the seed directly in the indentation, or like this. I was too lazy to switch out the squares, and I just put my seed in there and covered them with a little bit of dirt. These are beets, and they are not yet sprouting. Alright, so these are some carrot seeds, and so once you get the seed set in the hump, you want to have really good contact with the soil. So what I do is I take the end of some pen or something, because it won't lift the seed back up. If you use your finger, you can pull the seed up, and just tamp it lightly to make good contact with the soil. Then when you've done all of them, you take your vermiculite and cover them up. Now you can use peat moss instead of vermiculite if you've got a fine peat moss. The reason why I prefer vermiculite is because peat moss has a tendency to, when it's dry, to kind of repel water. And so you'll get only like the very top layer of the peat moss wet unless you try really hard to cover it. And I've found that that's caused, you know, entire batches of my seeds to not germinate because only a very little portion of the peat moss was wet, and then you know, my seeds kind of dried out instead of germinating. So then once you get it covered, you want to press down a little bit so that it gets some contact with the soil. And so that your seeds get a good contact too, because when you spray the water, you'll see it'll move the vermiculite. So when you spray it with water, you want to do it kind of slowly at first until it gets some water into it. Once it gets water on it, it'll stop moving. But you can see it move a little bit. So, and then once you get some water, you can spray it like normal. So. As you can see, fun stuff. And then market. This is a Paris market variety of carrot. So basically, this is this will grow to be about 2 inches long and maybe about 3 inches wide. It grows like a ball, so kind of like an onion. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm planting these in some shallow soil in one of the beds that I have out front that I didn't really, it's not a raised bed, I just threw some good topsoil on top of some different soil, and then I'm going to put carrots in the whole thing. And so I need I've got about a 30-foot length by 3 feet wide, so 9 per square feet in 900 square feet. I need about 810 of these things, so only 7 more trays of these, and I'll be good.